2. Welcome to the February Commission on Aging meeting. Thanks for everybody for coming. Our opening part is discussions of the November and December minutes because we did not have a quorum at our January meeting. So first question is, anybody have any changes to the November minutes? It's January? What did I say? February? Sorry about that. TV 79, I actually moved into the future and I'm back. January 15th, we're back to the January meeting. And so first question again, thank you very much, Allie. November minutes, any changes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the November minutes? Thank you. Second. Thank you. All in favor? December minutes. I know we have some changes. Peter.
We do. I'm recommending 3 changes, Joe. In the paragraph that said, Mr. Etter said a number of attorneys had done some serious investigations. Remember we were talking about pharmaceutical pricing. That should read number of states attorneys general. They were aggregation of states attorneys general. In the following paragraph, where we talked about at home in Darien, I'd like to recommend we replace the paragraph to more accurately depict the annual meeting. And I said, Mr. Etter encouraged everyone to watch the video of the 10th annual at home in Darien meeting. Ms. Blum assembled a panel of 5 individuals representing volunteer drivers, the office staff, board members, and at home in Darien members who offered candid insights into the Breath and Strength program. And then a new paragraph, because we did discuss the Medicare cards, and that was not in the minutes of the meeting. So I'm suggesting a paragraph that reads, there was discussion on how the new Medicare cards are increasingly used as required forms of identification in most medical and health-related service visits and transactions. The previously issued cards are no longer valid, and there is some confusion about the new and old cards given their quite similar appearance. The committee agreed that the public should be made aware of this, and a letter press announcement be provided to local media, including the Darien Times, and that this is to be accomplished by a cooperative and joint action of Darien Human Services and the Commission's chairman. So I submit those for modifications.
Awesome. Any other changes to December minutes? Hearing none.
Actually,
Oh, yes, go
your
ahead.
adjournment time is 9:36 a.m.
Okay,
Minor.
got it. Any other modifications to the minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as modified? Thank you. Second. Appreciate it. All in favor? All right, great. So we now have our November and December minutes done. We'll start with Beth with the Matter Center report.
For the January, remainder of January, we're still doing the survey, the 2020 survey, which is activity survey as well as a food survey. I'm going from class to class to hand them out because we're trying to get at least 500 back. We're already at 250, and we've got a couple more weeks. So if you haven't done one, they're anonymous. But this is the only way that we can kind of call. We've gotten really good ideas in the past for programming, and also because our food program has changed hands a couple of times, it's good for us to have more insight into what people want to see, and we're getting really good feedback as we start to look at them. So I brought a few, but people have not done them yet. And also in January, we're starting on the 29th, the tax assistance program with ARP, FIDUS, and IRS volunteers from 9 to 1 by appointment. We're taking walk-ins too, because last year what ended up happening, we had more by walk-in than we did by appointment, but we're handling the appointments in the office for folks that are coming in for that. We're happy that we're doing it again, so we'll see with a specific day, because toward the end it got really busy, in the beginning it wasn't, so we'll see as a site if we become really helpful for them as well. In February, we decided to go with the theme of hearts and to go with physical, mental, and spiritual. So all of our programming in February is kind of pointing to that. We're starting off with the great love story of JFK at Camelot. There's a wonderful presentation that Mark Gottlieb is doing, and he's fabulous anyway, but it's kind of neat that he's chosen to do that. The VNH complimentary lunch that we have every single month from Visiting Nurse and Hospice of Fairfield County. They're gonna be doing heart-healthy eating, so that's part of that little, so there's for the health part of it. We're having a Valentine's Day party on Valentine's Day. We're going to have, Jerry, let your friends know, we're going to have a costume contest who comes most well themed, and the lunch is going to be themed for that as well. And the entertainer is David Allen. He's fantastic. He came in once and to a very small group, and we're hoping to get a very large group because his audience participation, he's a tremendous guitarist, but he's wonderful getting everybody up and going. So he's going to do kind of a love theme thing. Our whole idea is that Valentine's Day isn't just for lovers, but lovers with friendship and connection and that kind of thing too. So this should be fun. We're also going to do, which is so good for your heart, laughter yoga. Bridges of Epcot has a therapist that's going to come in and do a whole presentation on laughter yoga. I don't know if anybody has seen anything on the internet with laughter yoga. It's actually, you can't help but laugh. It's almost completely ridiculous. And it's so completely ridiculous, but there's the health benefits are wonderful that you just get hysterical laughing even with the laughter. And I give these gals that are the ones that are implementing this a lot of credit, because you really have to have a lot of confidence to come in the room and go, and everybody else, please do that as well. So it's an exchange of oxygen. It's an incredible exercise program, and it's a lot of fun. So we threw that into our Heart Healthy as well. And just to let folks know that the CDC program that we did as a pilot for diabetes prevention with Dr. Dana Wade has gotten such great, wonderful reviews that the CDC has decided to have it as a Medicare paid prevention program. So we will be offering it beginning in March again on Fridays. It's a whole year-long program. It's 16 weeks of classes, and then Dr. Dana Wade comes in once a month for a solid year. He has proven that people, first of all, their A1Cs have gone down. They have to be pre-diabetic. You cannot be a diabetic and take this course, but pre-diabetic. Weight has gone down 30%, and 6 months later, people have not put the weight back on. Their A1Cs are back down. So Medicare has given its blessing for this program that's very expensive to be done free or covered by Medicare, so to speak. So, and we have the forms in our office because you have to score a certain amount and fill out an application to be able to be in the program. And he'll do as many as 25 people in this next class. It's already half filled. And that starts in March. That's why I kind of wanted to get that out. He's very, very thrilled. He did these pilot programs all over, and every one of them have had consistent results, and that's the way that we got him, so we got him back. So.
Yeah, I can offer an anonymous testimonial to that. A good friend of mine is in that program, and it was a lot of hard work.
Yes.
You really have to dedicate yourself to doing it, but it is really very helpful.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, people, I just can't, I would love to sit there myself, because I'm sure I'd score at least a 5 to be able to, that's what you have to do, get in there. But even doctors' referrals, we're taking doctors, but you have to be pre-diabetic, not diabetic. So we're very happy he's coming back. And the census will be back with us sometime in March to actually help people fill out, in our computer room, to fill out the census. They haven't given me a date yet. I know it's maybe the week of March 23rd, so we're waiting on that, but just to let you know that they're coming back again, and this time they're gonna actually help folks. So I understand it's a pretty simple form, but because they want to do most of it on the computer, that's gonna throw people. And it is anonymous that you're assigned a number from the standpoint of not worrying about putting your social security number or anything in it. There's a number in your envelope, so if you get your census, if anybody gets it, so since we're on Channel 79, keep the entire packet. If it makes you nervous, then come to the center. I'm sure the library's gonna do it as well. It'll be around. And then once we learn how to do it too, because we'll have the census people teach us, some of us will be able to help with it too, if people wanna do it on the computer, and that they will be assigned a number. So that's how they identify who you are, not your social security number. Because I'm sure there's gonna be scams around this too.
Again, if I may piggyback on that, the library will have a program on February the 11th at 3:30, presentation on the census overall, and we'll have the Sensor Partnership Specialist, Yvette Rose, explained the census and why it's safe and important. And this week, got an email from Matt Blumenthal pointing out that the census workers, they need them, and they've raised the hourly rate for census workers from $21 to $23 an hour. They're hiring for a variety of temporary jobs, including census takers, recruiting assistants, office staff, and supervisory staff. The only qualifications are you must be 18 years of age or older, be a U.S. citizen, pass a background check, and have a valid social security number. And there's a lot of information on that. But they do expect it's going to be a complex, tedious undertaking. It will be simplified perhaps,
Right.
but again, for people not comfortable with all the scams going on today, it's a hazardous situation, so there'll be a lot of training needed.
And any form is overwhelming. Any form is overwhelming. And Vet Rose is actually, we've already had a presentation at the center with her. She's dynamite, and she's our contact for our region. And SWACA, our area agency on aging, has an assigned person that's working directly with her to make sure that every senior center is actually offering this to hopefully cut down on scams. So our 14-town area, our senior centers are all participating in this, just for the reason that Peter's saying, so. I'm done.
Peter, would you mind forwarding that email about the census jobs? Because that might be helpful for some of our clients.
Oh, sure.
Thank
Good
you.
idea. Yep, I'd be glad to do it.
Any questions for Beth? Hearing none, thank you, Beth. Moving on to Ally for our Human Services report.
Okay. One thing I wanted to remind everybody is that we have an emergency call list. So now that winter's here, any seniors or disabled individuals who would like to have a call prior to a townwide emergency or storm or some major event, we do call people prior to the storm, during and after, if there's major outages and disaster kind of issues. We have about 75 people on that list, and we're happy to add people if they're interested to call our office. Not too much else to add senior related, just give you some numbers that I didn't have last month. So Medicare open enrollment, I think I told you we had 69 seniors that we helped, which is only up like one actually from last year, even though the time spent was a lot more. But we actually saved $20,407 for the people we changed. We didn't change all 69 of the people we met with, but that's huge. I think I did mention that one woman was $5,000 herself, but anyways, just thought that was nice to know. The final numbers, we had 52 seniors adopted for the holidays from many of you in this room, thank you, and 51 families. And what else? Operation Fuel, I think I mentioned this also last time, but so far we've had 6 applications for a total of $2,309, and we have up to $5,000 to spend this season. So that helps quite a few of our seniors, because if they have assets, they're not eligible over, say, $15,000 for a homeowner. They're not eligible for energy assistance, but Operation Fuel does not take assets into consideration, so it's a good option for some people. And human services, energy assistance. We so far have processed 64 applications, so we're well underway, and that continues through March for oil heated homes, and May through for electric heated homes.
Thank you, Ally. Any questions for Ally? Hearing none, thank you very much. Old business, following up on Peter's modification to the minutes, Beth, Ally, and I tag teamed to get a nice little press release. Beth quickly forwarded me over the Medicare card stuff, which was great. I then worked with Ally to compose a press release, which we got out onto the net pretty quickly, which was great before Christmas, which was fantastic. And so, we obviously will keep figuring out what we can do if we hear more horror stories relating to old Medicare cards. So I will ask Jennifer. Jennifer, are you still hearing old horror stories about Medicare cards?
It's still a problem,
Okay.
because nobody understands that they're not gonna accept the old ones. But the offices, the doctor's offices are telling everybody now,
Okay, good.
you cannot use this.
Good.
Because it's not gonna pass through, it's not gonna go through the insurance.
Right.
And it'll get there eventually when you can't get any care,
Right.
and you'll get the new one, but
Right.
they're trying to make it stick. And it's when it happens, it's gonna just happen, and then there's gonna be no care. You're not gonna get reimbursed, you're not gonna get seen, which is gonna be not so good. So I'm glad that I saw that go
And
out.
several people have come in and shown their cards, and a couple, two, had the old card, and I shredded it.
Good.
So just, that's the other thing, we will, if somebody's questioning, and I'm sure Ally will do the same thing,
Yeah.
if they don't know, bring it to Ally, bring it to me, and we'll shred them, because you don't wanna, because that has their social security number on it,
Right.
the old card.
And that's the whole reason why they did the new ones, was to
Right.
get rid of the social
Right.
security cards on the old ones.
So if you're doing it on your own, cut it up, you know, so if
It'll,
somebody's doing it on their own.
it'll resolve itself, the hard way is what it's gonna
Yeah.
do. Unfortunately, when people say, you can't come without your card,
Mhm.
that's gonna be the problem. But it's getting better, I think. More people are knowing or asking about it. So I think it was good that the article went in.
Can I make a suggestion? Years ago, when I got my first Medicare card, I realized it was the card I was gonna use most probably in my life other than my credit card. So I went to Staples and I had it laminated. And when I got the new one, I went to Staples and had one. Did we ever think of maybe putting a laminating machine at the Mather Center, or do we have one, or senior services? And when we're dealing with folks and that question comes up, you can say to them, if they say, I've got my Medicare card with you, make the suggestion, because what it does is it gives it A, permanence, and B, prominence.
Quite a few people who come in actually do also laminate theirs. I've seen them, like when they come for Medicare open enrollment. If they wanted, I could ask the health. The health department has one. We can ask if we could steal it if someone ever wanted it. But
Just a thought.
And we
yeah,
can-
no,
we
it's a
can-
good idea because they're paper, so it's
Yeah.
not like a credit card. You know?
And we can look into getting one, because
Yeah,
that's,
we could too. I was just teasing, but the health department already has one, so maybe we could just borrow it. One other thing related to this, Sandy Fox from the Darien Times called me yesterday, thanks to Peter Eder, following up about the Medicare
Good.
cards. And she's gonna write, I referred her to our meeting last month, and she was gonna watch it, and she's gonna write another article about it.
Great.
So,
Fantastic.
yep, she might be calling you too, Beth. I told her to give you a call.
But
So,
That's really great.
more press.
Good stuff. Well, that's what we can do, and we can hit something like that and get it out there. That's great. So kudos to everybody for rocking and rolling on that. That's great. Awesome. Other old business. We talked about Old Town Hall Homes, Royal, okay, and how that's going. I've been in touch with Joe Warren. He will be here in February at our February meeting to give us an update on what's going on. We can all drive by on the post road and see it all going up, but it'll be interesting to see in terms of not only the progress they're making physically, but what we're doing vis-a-vis the wait list and things of that nature, because that's gonna be the huge question as to those coming back and do we have any openings and how that's gonna happen, and whether he has those answers yet or not, it's still to be determined, but that's the kind of questions we're gonna keep asking to make sure that we have him here maybe hopefully every 6 months or so to keep giving us updates until this thing is completely done, which, as I understand, may happen as early as this summer. I haven't gotten the latest update, but that would be incredible.
Yeah, we get calls probably daily inquiring about it. We have to always tell everyone, we don't have anything to do with it, but we will refer them to the Imagineers, they have their phone number and their website, theroyaldarien.com, I think it is.
Okay.
Be eager to hear Joe talk.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
So they're-
amazing, the building is huge. Looks, I don't know if everyone's seen it, but every time I
Right.
drive past, I'm distracted driving, watching it, but
Yeah, it's large, which is great, because we need the housing, and at the end of the day, it's a perfect spot for it. It's, as far as walkability for Darien, it's not bad, okay, I mean, compared with some of the other places it could have gone. So at the end of the day, it's great stuff, so cool. Other old business,
piggybacking on that, we still continue to meet with the old residents.
Good.
So we had a meeting yesterday, only a few of them come now, there's 16 still returning at this point.
okay, great, cool. Peter, you got stuff?
I do.
Yeah, I'll go to you or Gina, whichever you prefer.
Gina, do I go first?
I was just going to mention that within the past week, the latest issue of Out and About came into every mailbox in Darien. So if you haven't received it and would like a copy, let us know. Got some extras here too.
Awesome, thank you.
That's it. Okay, let me come back to just a couple of things. The tax prep, as Beth pointed out, it's going to be back at the Mather Center. It's also going to be back in the Darien Library and on an expanded basis this year. So it's Mondays 1 to 8, Friday 9 to 4, and Saturday 9 to 4, by appointments or drop-ins. We recommend people by appointment. But for Channel 79, I was invited to probably what was the most boring meeting I've ever attended. I spent last Saturday at the Norwalk Library with a room full, almost 100 tax aid people being trained. And what I want to point out is where the tax aid program exists in our area, okay? Norwalk Library, South Norwalk Library, Norwalk City Hall, Norwalk Senior Center, Stamford Senior Center, Ferguson Bennett Library, Ferguson Weed Library, both of those in Stamford, Building 1 Community Center in Stamford, the Greenwich Library, the Greenwich Town Hall, and the New Canaan Town Hall. And all of these have programs, again, all free, no age limitations, no income limitations. If you're running a business out of your garage as a you probably can't get your taxes done there. But for simple tax filings, it's encouraging. So it's a terrific program. So, and we start January 27th. The next thing is a reminder that we have a short legislative calendar this year in Connecticut. It's going to start on February the 3rd, and it's going to end on May the 5th. So activities are going to be very compressed. I've started to meet with our legislators again, talking to them about senior needs. I met with Senator Leone this week, and I met with Representative Blumenthal, and I'm meeting with Senator Stubb and Representative Wood in the next week as well. But a new item which crossed my computer, which I found fascinating, and which I think is very interesting. This week, on January the 12th, State Senator Saud Anwar of South Windsor has proposed that Connecticut become the first right-to-housing state. A very, very interesting thing. It would provide every individual with the right and ability to access safe housing. Having safe houses for our workforce and our youth would better allow for economic development, as well as improvements in well-being and health. And he would like to get this done by the year 2030. I think it's fascinating. You know, when you consider that Connecticut is the 6th highest housing cost state in the country, in that we have in our state more than 4,500 homeless people today. I think this is an issue. I mean, here in Darien, we're blessed with At Home in Darien and senior services and the Mather Center. But we have neighbors where it's a lot more of a problem. And our neighboring towns, Stamford, Norwalk. Again, I think as a state, it makes sense that we have a statewide effort. And he's a very interesting guy. He's a physician. He's been a physician for 20 years. He's the mayor of South Windsor, and he's I think, new to the state senate. But and Senator Leone was very impressed when he saw this. So just a heads up and something, again, it may not affect our commission as much as housing and other commissions that we have in town, but I think for seniors as well, important part of this population. So again, piece of news which I think is important and could be a major effort. It makes sense.
It'd be amazing if they could pull it off, and to try to get adjoining states as well, and because you can imagine what that would mean in New York City, for example, or for that matter, Hartford, Bridgeport, et cetera, Stamford. It's a huge benefit to figure out how you pull it off. It's great. Great stuff.
That's it.
Thank you, Peter. Great. Pete also mentioned, Peter got a nice shout out for his work, volunteering in Darien. I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations. It was good stuff, especially involving the tax stuff that was specifically mentioned. So congratulations. Great. Other old business. New business. Looking around, seeing none. Can I have a motion to adjourn? No move. Thank you. We'll see you in February. And Joe Warren. That should be an interesting meeting. Thanks so much.